Welcome, everyone, to 24/7 Sports. I'm Tom Lloyd alongside the 105 guys. We've got Director of Scouting Andrew Ivins and National Analyst Cooper Patagna. Signing day is right around the corner, so we are looking at the 2025 recruiting classes all across the country and bringing fans a look at the soon-to-be signees. We're going to hit a few superlatives to clearly state our take on many of these prospects. Today, we're looking at Auburn. The Tigers are currently the number 5 ranked recruiting class in 2025, and they have 27 commits set to play for head coach Hugh Freeze. Andrew, we will start with you. Early draft pick potential, a guy with elite traits now, but also one who could see himself getting selected early in the NFL draft. Who do you got?
Well, I had two guys at the top of the list, and I'm going to go with Malik Autry, interior defensive lineman, 6'0", 323 pounds, 35-inch arms, 10-inch hands. He's a heavy Chevy there in the middle. Love the agility and the suddenness for someone his size. I think he's a guy that can plug gaps in the interior and allow all that defensive talent that Auburn continues to collect in the second level and the secondary. Let those guys run free. You look at the Tigers right now, Malik Blockton playing as a true freshman. I think you have to feel pretty good about Malik Autry just based on what we have seen from him on the camp circuit, what we have seen from him here as a senior. I think he's a guy where if it all comes together, think about it, Tom, he's right there in the middle. He can impact every single snap. He can dictate what another offense can do. So for me, Malik Autry.
I'm going to go with the quarterback, Deuce Knight, and I know he probably fits really well in a different category that we're going to talk about here in a second. But in terms of early draft pick potential, that is Deuce Knight. He's got a long way to go on the football field. It might be year 2 until we see him. But outside of that, he's everything you want. 6'4.5", over 200 pounds. He's an elite level athlete, 40-inch plus vertical jump, low 4.5s in the 40. He can run. I'd like to see him do it a little bit more at the next level. But Drew, in terms of the growth of what we've seen with Deuce Knight from his junior to his senior year, what he did at Elite 11, what he did at Elite 11 Oxford, he's come a long way in a short amount of time. It gives me hope and conviction and confidence about his future, what he can do at the next level, especially when you're surrounding him with guys like Alvin Henderson, Derek Smith, not to mention Cam Coleman, and the rest of the Freeze Four there as well. They have all the pieces for Deuce Knight to be successful. He's going to need a little bit of polish, but if it all comes together for Deuce Knight, this is going to be a guy at least athletically gifted. He's touched by the hand of God. He would be in that top 1 percentile of athletes on Saturdays.
I was torn between both guys. Cooper, I'm going to go with Deuce Knight as well. The growth trajectory has been incredible. I mean, what he's done over the last 2 years, especially this offseason, it's been so fun to watch. I also like that Auburn's going to bring in a transfer quarterback that'll help him develop, give him a little time, but they'll absolutely have a package for him in year 1. Very excited for Deuce at the next level. Day 1 impact, a guy who will see the field early and often in year 1 at Auburn. Cooper, who do you got, man?
No shortage of options here. I'm going to go with Anquan Fagans, and a guy that just continues to impress as a senior. You know, plays a lot of corner. I think he's going to be a safety at the next level, but he is a longer, bigger, physical kid. He can play the deep third. He can also come in, cover in the slot. I love the versatility that he gives you. Love the ball skills as well. Very, very comfortable in man-to-man, can play zone. He's just a super position flexible piece that I like, and he's a heady football player. The more he plays, the more you like him. I also think that he can contribute on special teams as well. So this is one of those guys, he checks so many boxes just in terms of the versatility, the instincts too. I think it's going to be really, really hard for Auburn to keep him off the field as a freshman.
Coop, that's a good one. And a kid that's been doing it for 4 straight years at the varsity level. My guy, Alvin Henderson, the running back, number 9 ranked ball carrier for us, 189 overall, just became Alabama's all-time leading rusher, broke a 27-year-old record. He's got close to 10,000 career yards rushing, 178 touchdowns. I mean, his name is all over the Yellowhammer State record books when it comes to high school prospects. Auburn's going to lose Jarquez Hunter. They got 2 other running backs there, Damari Alston, Jeremiah Cobb. I just think Alvin Henderson, from what he's been able to do now, might not have a ton of tread left on those tires, but that position, we continue to see it year over year, just these young freshmen that come in and make an impact, even in the SEC. So I think Alvin Henderson's a guy that could be number 2, number 3 in the rotation year 1, and then he can emerge kind of as that bell cow for the running back room. So Alvin Henderson for me.
Really excited to see Alvin at the 2025 Navy All-American Bowl. Very curious to see how he looks. But I'm going with defensive back Anquan Fagans. Cooper, a lot of what you said, corner, safety. I don't really know where he projects, but I saw him earlier this season in person. He looked like a difference maker and a guy who can help Auburn right away, and they could obviously use it on defense. Boomer bust. Let's look at an intriguing talent who could outperform their ranking, underachieve. Kind of a mystery. Very curious to see where you guys go with this one. Ivan, who do you got?
I know we're a couple minutes into this, and we haven't even talked about Auburn's top-ranked prospect for 24/7 Sports, Jared Smith, the edge rusher, 6'0", 6'4", 234 pounds. He's got a 6'11" wingspan. He wore size 18 shoes as a freshman. They might be 19, 20 at this stage. He is someone where your eyes just get drawn to him. It's the measurables, it's the traits. He's everything you want in a frontline defender. Now, the production hasn't been there his first couple of years at the high school level, but you look at what he's doing as a senior: 71 tackles, 17 tackles for loss, 16 quarterback hurries, and here's the big one: 6.5 sacks. He's a guy where we love the clay. There's some medical red flags out there. He hasn't been able to really do it in a camp setting in terms of putting it all together. Another one where hopefully you're going to get one of these postseason all-star events. I mean, if he hits, he is going to hit big. This is what they look for on Sundays: that size, that ability to get after the quarterback. They've stood him up a little bit here as a senior at Thompson High School. I think he's better with his hand in the dirt. So Jared Smith for me, boomer bust. He could hit really, really big.
Yeah, it would have to be Jared Smith for me as well. Now, for the sake of the conversation, I'll go with Antonio Coleman, who I really, really like. I mean, quick twitch, explosive guy, could play the one technique or the three technique. He's versatile as well. Really, really powerful at the point of attack and such a disruptive player. You pair him with a guy like Jordan Crawford, there's a lot to like there, not to mention Malik Autry as well. But we're talking about Antonio Coleman, twice committed to Alabama, twice committed to Auburn. He's had some off the field stuff that has shown up as well. This is one of those guys you kind of put in the wild card round. And there's a handful of these guys for Auburn. They feel really good about what they could be. But at the same time, these are also guys that where the floor could fall out. Caleb Falk, what's he look like? Is he an edge or is he a linebacker? Derek Smith, is he a safety or a receiver? How does he fit in? A lot of raw, dynamic athletes that I'm really, really curious to kind of see what are they going to look like year 2, year 3 at Auburn, and how they develop at the next level. But Antonio Coleman, Jared Smith, both those guys for me, really, really interested to see what those guys look like in a couple years from now.
Zero argument with either of them. I'll throw out quarterback Deuce Knight. I know I just talked about him. I think ranking wise, I think we all agree he's on the boom side. We expect great things from him at the next level. But to be honest, up until maybe this year, he hasn't really shown it on the field and in a consistent basis. So there's a lot of questions about there. How is he developing, things like that? So I'll throw Deuce Knight out there, but Jared Smith is obviously a great call as well. Diamond in the rough, a 3-star prospect who could surprise some people down the road, really emerge as a high-level player, potentially even find himself drafted. Cooper, take this one. What do you got?
I'm going to go with Broderick Shaw. I don't know if he's the best example. 36+ inch arms. He was on Andrew Ivins' freak list. A guy that was 4'5" in the shuttle. Got a basketball background as well. Plays right tackle. A really easy mover. Strong at the point of attack. And get up to the second level. I like this kid. Actually wouldn't be surprised if he plays sooner rather than later at the next level. But he was a guy that kind of stood out to me. Like what Auburn's doing on the offensive line. Spencer Dowling, another guy that you could throw in this conversation that I think's got swing tackle, guard type of versatility. So they've done a good job there, missing the right way. But Broderick Shaw is probably the guy that stands out to me the most.
I'm going to go with linebacker Bryce Dees out of St. Francis Academy. Auburn's got 2 commits there. Blake would be the cornerback there. But Bryce Dees, man, I just watched St. Francis Academy travel to Clearwater Central Catholic. He's one of those dudes where you're like, whoa, checking the roster. Who's this guy? Speed and space, hit and run linebacker. Fits what Auburn wants to do on defense. Second level defender. Going to have to get better at reading and diagnosing, but he's a two-way player for the Panthers, which are playing a national schedule. Elite combine tester. 4.53 in the 40-yard dash, 4.29 in the shuttle, 7.3 in the L, 37.2-inch vertical jump, and 124-inch broad jump. This guy has the athletic juice. I love him. A little bit old, turns 19 in March, but I think he's someone that can run all over the place in the SEC.
I'm going to wrap it up with receiver Sam Turner. Popped for me this offseason. I know he's a 3-star right now, right on the cusp of that 4-star. Big fan of him. Very excited to see what he does on the Plains. That wraps it up. As I said before, we're going to continue hitting a bunch of schools leading up to December's early signing period. For Andrew Ivins and Cooper Patagna, I'm Tom Loy. As always, stay locked to 247sports.com.